Morning, everybody. Welcome to JT in the Raw, Show 8 and Week 2 of the Olympics. Thanks for tuning in this week. Really appreciate your support. Hey, special shout-outs this week to Carmen and Craig in the US. Carmen and Craig, thanks so much for asking about whether I can do some work with you guys and your team. Really appreciate that opportunity to be able to work with some US clubs. That's very cool. So thank you very much. Okay. I've got to admit, I'm feeling pretty weary today. I've just done some squats and feel actually like I let my personal trainer down because at the end of my session, I just couldn't do the run that I was supposed to do. Morning, Maddie Frost. Morning, Chantel. Morning, Pete. Morning, Maddie Fletcher. Welcome back. Okay, my highlight for the week. Okay, it's got to have been Usain Bolt. His 100 metres and then yesterday his 200 metres were just fantastic. How good is he? But actually what I really want to say about Usain Bolt is what made it for me was I saw an interview with him. Hi Braxy, morning, how you going? What made it for me with Usain was I saw on Facebook an interview with a Brazilian TV reporter in that little chill-out zone. Morning, Eugene. That chill-out zone after he'd run his 100. His 200 heat. And I'm not sure if you've seen this, but he's in the middle of the interview and he says to the interviewer, hey, do you mind if we just stop for the interview because the national anthem's being played? He stopped the interview. He turned to his right, faced the flags, and listened to the American national anthem in silence. Hi, Belinda. And then flipped back to the interview once the national anthem was over and continued on for the interview. What a very cool man. That is just so good. That's just such a class act. If I can find the video, I'll put it in the comments below. Okay, I did promise that JT in the Raw would be full of opinions. So my Party Pooper Award, hey Tony Brunton, go the Wallabies tomorrow night. You got only 7 guys left in the All Blacks from the World Cup winning team. Mate, if this ever going to win, it's going to be tomorrow night. Okay, my Party Pooper Award goes to Kitty Chiller. How can she ban Emma McKeon from going to the closing ceremony when she's won the most medals for us at the Olympics? And all she did was fail to text her management when she was staying with a friend in Rio. Party Pooper, Kitty Chiller. That's my opinion, and I'm welcome to it. Sportsmanship Award this week, Tony Brunton from New Zealand, you're going to love this, is Nikki Hamblin. I saw this video and it was phenomenal. It was a real touching display of sportsmanship. I posted it on my Facebook wall so you can have a look at it there. On Tuesday in the 5,000 metre heat, there was a fall between Nicky and Abby Agostino. And she went back, she picked her up and got her across the line. What an amazing sportsmanship. And I'm so pleased that they both were put into the final. Morning, Riso. And my It's Not About Me award for the Olympics has got to go to Cam McEvoy after Kyle Chalmers won the 100 metres freestyle gold medal. His interview post-race was just phenomenal. Now, every Olympics has got stories, and I'm sure I've missed some. So I'd love you to put down there in the comments any stories that you've heard that you absolutely love. If there's any videos, I want to see them as well. I just love hearing these stories because I get so much out of the Olympics. Okay, this week I've got a prize for the listeners. Okay, what I really want to do is try to provide an incentive for you guys to share the podcast, the JT in the Raw. So what I would really love you to do is tag anybody. And anybody that you tag, you will go in the draw for a 12-month Silver Active Management membership. Yep, just one. The more people you tag, the more entries you get. Okay, it's not the person who tags the most. It's every person you tag, you get one entry. And next week, hi Shane Casey, next week I'll tell you who won. So just put in the comments anybody you think gets any value out of this. Okay. Hashtag Ask JT this week comes from Michelle. And Michelle asks this. She says, what are the differences between KPIs and responsibilities when I'm managing my team? Love the question, Michelle. And I think the lines get really blurred between KPIs and responsibilities. So here's my take on it and hope you get some value out of this. KPIs, or key performance indicators, are numbers. They're numbers for you that you have to hit in order to keep your job. Keep your job. These numbers may be bare ass minimum numbers, they could be targets, they could be stretch goals, but they are numbers. In other words, KPIs are accountability perspective in your job. And the cool thing about numbers is we can say whether you did or you did not hit that number. Responsibilities for me, Michelle, are what is expected of what you need to do in your job. And often these are more subjective judgments on whether you did or you didn't do it. Sure, there are implications if you did or you didn't do it. And there's often debate between you and the individual whether they did or didn't do it to the fullest extent. So, in my opinion, if I was managing a team, I like to manage based on numbers because they're objective, rather than responsibilities, which is often based on subjective decisions. Hey, Steve Groves, welcome from Canada. Great to see you. Matt Parry, welcome. Okay, hope that helps. Remember, just like Michelle, if you hashtag AskJT, you can put any questions to me and I'll answer them in the show each week. Okay, what have I been doing this week? First up, I've been refining a presentation that I've been delivering at Fitness Biz Brunch on customer service and gathering material from Jay Baer's book, Hugging Your Haters. Everybody out there in the fitness industry has got to read this book. If you want to know more about the book, just put Hug Your Haters down there in the comments and I'll send you the link on Amazon to be able to grab the book and some information on Jay Baer. It's a cracking book. He spoke at URSA this year and I'm really excited to say, just quietly, he's going to be interviewed on the Fitness Business Podcast later this year. Anyway, here's what I've learned from him. When people complain and we solve their issue in a timely manner, they become an advocate for you. In fact, research indicates, Hug Your Haters, Pete, I'll send the information to you. Morning, Larissa. In fact, research indicates that you can lead to 20 times more positive word of mouth advertising than standard advertising. 20 times more, just by a timely response to complaints. Jay Baer actually goes on and says, when you get a complaint, if you don't respond, then that is actually a response. And that response is, you don't care enough to respond. He talks about two types of complainers, offstage complainers and onstage complainers. The offstage complainer generally wants a response, generally wants an answer, whereas an onstage complainer or hater simply just wants an audience. That's simple. Okay. The thrust of the book, though, is that we can differentiate ourselves from our competitors through customer service and the power of what customer service can do. And what I want to do is I just want to read you a quote from Tony Hsieh. And Tony Hsieh wrote the book Happiness. Great book. Tony Hsieh is the CEO of Zappos. And this is what Tony Hsieh says about customer service. We don't look at customer service as an expense. We look at it as an extension to our marketing budget. We've created a legion of promoters which saves us dollars in terms of having to market our business because we have these delighted customers who do the marketing for us. Pretty cool, hey? So just put down the bottom. Hey, Kim, how you doing? Just put down the bottom in the comments, Hug Your Haters, and I'll send you the link to the book. Awesome book. I also listened to a podcast this week called Fit Pro Business Podcast. This is with the host is Andy Salazar. I think he's American based, and he was interviewing Rick Mayo. Rick Mayo has presented at URSA, IDEA. He was here at Filex, and I'm going to look forward to seeing Rick and catching up with him at the International Anytime Fitness Conference in a couple of weeks. Okay. In the interview, which was titled How to Build a Dream Fitness Business, the real powerful insight I got from Rick was this: systems. He said for his business to grow and maintain its market position, business systems were critical. And this resonated with me so much because so many businesses flounder when a key person leaves. Not just a fitness business, but any business out there. It seems to flounder when a key person leaves. And I see frustration from the business owner. I see them angry. I see them upset. I see them wanting to sell their business. I see so many different emotions when this key person leaves. Or when staff members aren't doing their job. There's just this element. And I'm regularly asked, how do I keep my people accountable? And before I talked about KPIs, well, systems solve your operational challenges. Strategy gives you growth. Systems solve your operations. So if you can put systems into your business, you can then not worry about that business and you can work on strategy to grow. So really maybe consider between now and the end of the year to focus 100% on building some business systems. Okay, a big week coming up for me. Where do I start? Let me start with perhaps the most exciting thing. I've got a phone interview next Tuesday with Carolyn West. You may ask, I can hear you asking, who's Carolyn West? Carolyn West is the gatekeeper to the CEO of SoulCycle. How cool that is that, Melanie Whelan. So please keep your fingers crossed that I get through Carolyn to get to Melanie and we're going to interview her on the Fitness Business Podcast. Fingers crossed I can get through. I've got a Fitness Biz brunch in Melbourne coming up next week. Thanks to all our Melbourne friends who have registered for Fitness Biz brunch. We have record numbers in Melbourne, so we're stoked. Well done to the Aussie Mexicans for jumping in. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Then we've got Victorian PT Roundtable and then the New South Wales PT Roundtable as well. At both of these meetings, we're really focusing on marketing plans, and I'm putting the heat on the guys to bring their marketing plan from now to the end of the year. At a recent, I think I talked about this actually in a JTInTheRaw previously, but from a study conducted in the US, 43% of fitness studios do not have marketing plans for the coming year. So my personal mission is to ensure 100% of my roundtable members, whether they're PT or club owners, or any of my coaching clients, that come the 1st of January, they have a 12-month marketing plan. I want them to be in that 43%, not out of that 43%. So if you're a client or if you're a roundtable member, get prepared for me to be kicking your butt on getting a marketing plan for the full 12 months, ready to show me on the 1st of January. Okay, what else? I'm preparing for my very first experience at the Anytime Fitness International Conference. I'm so pumped up. I've got roundtable for a couple of days before it. Then I get to hear Gary Vaynerchuk. So a shout out to Gary V. Hope you're watching JTInTheRaw, Gary V. And then I'm running 3 panels at the International Conference. Really appreciate that, and I'm very grateful to Chuck and Dave and Libby at Anytime Fitness head office in the US for inviting me and giving me this opportunity. So it's pretty cool. Okay, hope you pulled some value out of today's show when we talked about hugging your haters and enjoying your complainers. Hope you got some value out of that definition that I have between KPIs and responsibilities. Morning PK, morning Gareth Cope. How are you guys? Remember, just tag anyone down the bottom who you think should listen to the show, and you'll go in the draw for a prize that we're giving away this week. You'll have to go back and listen to the main part of the beginning of the show if you missed it. Okay, quote of the week. Here we go. Business systems focus on smooth operations, allowing you to focus on business strategy for growth. This quote comes from me. I made it up. Here it is again. Business systems focus on smooth operations, allowing you to focus on the business strategy of growth. Thanks a lot for tuning in to JT in the Raw, show 8. Next week is show 9. I'll be coming to you live from Glenbrook before the New South Wales PT Roundtable, and I've got a very special guest who had a very good life lesson this week. So I look forward to catching up with you next week. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Spread the word of JT in the Raw. I really appreciate all your support. I'm very grateful. Thank you. Have a great weekend, and go the Wallabies!